that when this world goes down, you and I go up. Have great confidence and have great hope in that. Isaiah 41:29. Behold, they are all vanity. Their works are nothing. Their molten images are wind and confusion. Now we have a direct connection between Baal. You're going, I knew the Freemasons were. No. We have a direct connection between spirits and spiritual forces and gods and idols and Baal and things like that with the wind and with the confusion that it brings. You see, here's something I want to help you with, okay? If you want to go to heaven for all of eternity, you have to believe in God. You have to believe in His Son, Jesus Christ. You have to believe what the Bible says. Now, in order to go to hell, you have to worship Lucifer somehow, some way. But it's really interesting that in worshiping Lucifer, here's the only rule about worshiping the devil that you need to remember. You don't have to think that you're worshiping the devil. Isn't it something? You don't have to believe in him. You don't have to believe he exists. You don't believe in hell. You don't have to believe in anything. You just have to do the sins which by nature come natural for practically all mankind. That's all that has to happen. And so, are they worshiping Baal, worshiping false gods down in New Orleans? Boy, are they ever. Now, if you were to go down and ask them, are you Satan worshipers? Now, you're probably going to get some of them that are going, well, yeah. Because New Orleans, by and large, is a very evil place. It is very evil down there. New Orleans, Louisiana is not known as the Bible Belt of America. And so you understand that even though they may not regard any kind of God in their mind, they're practicing His religion, not His. His. So you understand that. And so God issues a warning. He sent one in 2005. He sent another one 7 years later. Same day. Same place. Now, if you remember from our video, Jesus Christ, DNA, and the Holy Bible, you understand the design. Here's a picture of a hurricane. And they all look alike. I mean, every one of them look alike. You have a spiral. Notice you have just a series of spirals. And it starts tight in the middle, works its way out in sort of a circle. And you can see that where the circle begins in the middle and unfolds itself, the circle pretty much ends in the same general place that the circle began. It just kind of, where it starts, it just kind of ends right there. That pattern is repeated all throughout the universe. It's known as the Fibonacci Sequence. Let me go back over this again very quickly. And if you want more on this, the video Jesus Christ, DNA, and the Holy Bible would go into more depth about the Fibonacci pattern. It's called God's ratio, the golden ratio, Fibonacci sequence, called by many names. But really, it's God's signature on everything He created. When you flush the toilet, the water makes that same spiral. So go home, go in the bathroom, flush the toilet, and go, oh, wow, look at that. Okay, fill the sink up with water, pop the cork. When the water starts going down, it goes down in that same spiral. You'll see it like that. Go to the beach. I wouldn't go to New Orleans right now, or Gulf Breeze, or any place like that. But you go to the beach, and when the waves are coming in, they curl. And they curl, and that curl is exactly like this. And it tails out on the water, pretty much the same place it started. It's universal. Your ear does the same thing. It has Fibonacci spiral in it. So I want you to look at this. Now, if we were to take this pattern, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and so on. Here's the pattern here. The two numbers, 1 and 1, are in sequence, okay? And we put a 0 at the beginning just to make it simple. 0 plus 1 is 1. So notice that we have two numbers, and the third number after them is the sum of the two previous numbers. 0 plus 1 is 1. Now we have 1 and 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's the next number in the sequence. Now we have 2 and 1. 2 plus 1 equals 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5. 3 plus 5 equals 8. 5 plus 8 equals 13. So that's the pattern. And it just keeps going ad infinitum. There's actually a mathematical ratio, if you understand about that. Some people do. I had a guy come to me in Rochester, and I'm not a mathematician. I mean, I am not a mathematician. I had to really go over this to comprehend it. But I try to explain it simply. And I had a guy sitting in the audience. I mean, the guy is a mathematical genius. And I'm explaining the Fibonacci sequence. And he comes to me with a piece of paper like this. And he says, here it is. And there was like signs and symbols and numbers and Greek letters and formulas everywhere. And he said, this is how it breaks down. See? And I went, I don't know what that means. But he got it. He got it from a mathematical level. But you can understand that 1 plus 1 equals 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, and so on. The ratio is 1.618, blah, 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 to 1. And so if you take the ratio, and when you get up into the hundreds and the thousands in the Fibonacci sequence, if you take this number and divide it by the previous number, the answer is going to be 1.618 or right around in there. So it's a consistent ratio that no matter how big it is, the ratio remains the same. And that is God's signature. So when I see our hurricane shaped like this, I'm going, that's God. God did that. It's in a very ordered pattern, and it's the same pattern no matter where you go. When you apply these numbers into that spiral, where the spiral begins, you see the boxes there, 1 and 1. Those boxes, let's say, would be 1 square inch. And then the next box in the sequence is going to be 2 square inches. The next box is going to be 3. Notice that the 3 box covers the size of the 2 box and the 1 box. And then you have the next number in the sequence, 2 plus 3 equals 5, and it's curving around. 3 plus 5 equals 8 square inches. And then 5 plus 8 equals 13. And then for some reason, all of these spirals, no matter how big they are, how small they are, for some reason all these spirals just kind of tail off at that same point. I'm going to show you why here in a little bit. Okay? Here it is. If we look at an image of a hurricane, you plainly see the signature of God in this spiral. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. And then in the place that it starts, it tails off again. You see that. When you look at a spiral galaxy, it starts out in the middle, tails off in the same place that it starts. It's the same Fibonacci patterns, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. And again, no matter how big or how small it is, that's God's signature. It's His hand. He made the stars and He went like that. And they all just made that same pattern. There's billions, trillions, untold gazillions of spiral galaxies all over the... And by the way, stars are angels, according to the Bible. That's what they are. Even we've talked about the Zodiac and how it's the constellations and they represent stars. The Zodiac is like the circle of living creatures. They represent evil angels that are encompassing the wicked of the earth in the last days to bring about a new world order. That's their purpose. That's their goal. So I want you to understand this. When we're looking at stars, we're looking at hurricanes or tornadoes or anything like that. We're looking at God giving us a visual symbol of spiritual forces at work. And here's why I'm saying all this. There is in the occult world a symbol. Now, those of you who have followed our ministry, you know when I see symbols, I go, okay, yeah, I know what that is. I know what that is. Yeah. I've studied symbols for years, and God has helped me with my understanding of symbols because I believe this book. I believe that this book will reveal. Let me do it like this. Here is Albert Pike, and he's got a symbol on the front here. It's a double-headed eagle, and we've got all these stars here, which is like 33%. There's like 33 stars here, and that's like 1/3. Think of 1/3 of the stars of heaven being cast down to the earth. We have ordo ab chaos. Wow, what does that mean? Ordo out of chaos. Do you know what chaos means? The pit. The bottomless pit. It has a crown. It has a little triangle at the top. And it has a number in here. This is really, really interesting. What this number is actually related to what I'm talking about today. And so what does this symbol mean? And so if you read 800 and some odd pages of Albert Pike's Morals and Dogma, let's see, how many do I have here? We have 800 and, this is the index in the back, by the way, 850 some odd pages in this book. You will never, ever, 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 ever find out the truth of what this symbol means, because Albert Pike says in this book, he says, we use symbols like the square and the compass and the handshakes and crossing our legs and, you know, the furniture of the Masonic Lodge. And we tell you what we want you to think they mean in the Blue Lodge in the first 3 degrees. We lied. We weren't telling you the truth. We're not really going to tell you what they mean. So their job is to conceal a secret. God's job is to reveal secrets. So when I see symbols, I don't care what it's on, I think there's something hidden behind. I mean, it's just how God trained me. So I see symbols. I see a spiral. I see what they call a sacred spiral. Sacred spiral has been around thousands of years. There's ancient artwork. You probably could Google this and you'll find the sacred spiral. It kind of looks like a maze or a labyrinth. The labyrinth has the same concept, the same idea. You're going down to the center is what you're doing. But a sacred spiral is, and it's heavy in the New Age. There are churches, the Mormon temple in St. Joseph, Missouri, where they believe that Jesus is going to come back once we get a Mormon president. I don't know if they really believe that, but this certainly matches their goal, the Mormons. They believe that Jesus is going to come back. He's going to rule in New Jerusalem in Independence, Missouri, and they have built a temple in honor of this that has the sacred spiral coming out of the roof. I get it. I understand what that is. I understand what that sacred spiral. You'll see symbols like on a hand with the spiral. You see there in the graphic there. You see the sacred spiral there. And I understand. I get it. I know what this is talking about. Let's go back to this verse here. Hosea chapter 8, verse 7. For they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. They're going to reap what they sowed. Think of lust when it is conceived, bringeth forth sin. Sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. See the terminology here. Okay? The seed goes in, and what seed was put in is what comes out. It's just like a man or a woman. It's just like an animal. In the animal kingdom, it's just like in all of nature. What you sow is what you're going to reap, America and the rest of the world. And America and the rest of the world sows to the wind. Excuse me, I'm going to say this the Bible way. We have sown the wind, and we're going to reap the whirlwind. This whirlwind is a symbol of the beast. Revelation 13, the Antichrist, of 1 John, the son of perdition, 2 Thessalonians 2, the king of the bottomless pit, Revelation chapter 9. I'm going to show you this. There's a book called The Divine Pymander. Now, I don't have a copy of this. I haven't read it. But Manly Hall refers to it in The Secret Teachings of All Ages. And he refers to the Divine Pymander, this book. And the Divine Pymander is like a lost, hidden, secret thing that was given to a character by the name of Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes is the thrice majestic, 1, 2, 3. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life. That's what he represents. Hermes Trismegistic is the Antichrist. And Hermes Trismegistic represents the lost word that is buried with him, a secret, and it's going to come up out of a KO one of these days. It's going to come up out of the pit. It's going to bring in a new world order. So you understand what this is all about. And the Divine Pymander describes sort of the calling of Hermes Trismegistic. I think Manly Hall made the reference to